lesson from your geography chapter 2, which is environment and environmental problems. Okay, so before we start on to this chapter, let's learn the meaning of environment. So now in your lower classes, you must have learned that environment is the things surrounding us. Okay, but in your higher class, you'll be learning in a broad sense. Okay, so let's learn here. So here I've mentioned biotic and abiotic. So now if I talk about the definition of environment, environment means the conditions around an organism or a community of organisms. So this includes all the elements which are necessary for the survival of living beings. Okay. So now these elements consist of the biotic and abiotic factors. Okay. So biotic means those factors or elements which have life. So it may be ranging from a microbes to a large mammals. Okay. And abiotic means those which are non-living. So it can be anything comprising of air, water, soil. Okay, all these are coming under the abiotic factors. And the environment are consisting of both the biotic and the abiotic factors. Okay. So now in order to learn this environment in a broader way, we have divided the environment into 4 major spheres. Okay, the first one here I have written lithosphere, second one hydrosphere, atmosphere, then we have biosphere. Okay, so let's come to this first. Lithosphere means the landforms or the land component of the earth comprising of the rocks, soils, minerals. Okay, so lithosphere consists all the continents which comprise together the hills, plateaus, plains, valleys and coastal area. Okay. So now next we come to hydrosphere. So since we know that 71% of the earth are covered by water. Okay, so hydrosphere consists of all the water bodies comprising the rivers, lakes, streams, even groundwater, the water vapor in the air, glaciers, ice caps. Okay, everything that is water are coming under the definitions of hydrosphere. Okay, so next we have atmosphere. As I have mentioned over here, atmosphere consists of these 5 parts. Okay. So the lower part, the lowest one will be troposphere. Then comes the stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and exosphere. Okay. So troposphere, this is a layer where the aeroplane flies. Okay. And next we have the stratosphere. Here we will be seeing weather balloons which are used for forecasting the climate. Okay. Next we have the mesosphere. This is the layer of the atmosphere where the meteors fall. We have the thermosphere next, where we generally find the space shuttle. Okay, this is sent generally in this area. Now exosphere is those part of the atmosphere which is far away from the earth, okay, into the space. So here all of this taken together, it consists of a total height of 10,000 km from the surface of the earth. Okay. So in this atmosphere are also the gaseous layers like the oxygen, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, nitrogen, argon. All these are also the gases which lies in this layer of the atmosphere. And all their content are given, like for example oxygen 21%, nitrogen 78%. Okay, so all these are fixed in the atmosphere, and the maintaining of this balance in the atmosphere maintains the balance of the environment as well. Okay, so next we have biosphere. So now biosphere consists of those area of the earth where life form occurs. Okay, so it may be a few meters down under the oceans and seas, or maybe in the lower stratum of the atmosphere where insects and birds live. Okay, so those areas comes under the biosphere, the area where the life forms exist. Okay, so since I have told you about the spheres, now most important thing is the interactions of these 4 spheres of the environment makes it possible for the survival of human beings, for the survivals of living beings on the earth. Okay, and the interactions of these 4 spheres are which we call as environment. Okay, so next we'll be learning about the factors responsible for rapid change in Earth's environment. So every now and then we have been learning that the Earth's environment has been changing. And we have been talking about it that human has been responsible for the change in this Earth's environment. Okay, so we will learn the specific reason why this has been happening. Okay, so first of all, as I have written over here, population growth, that means increase in the population, has been one of the major reasons for the change in the environment. Okay, with the increase in the human population, more space were required for human settlement, which led to cutting down of the trees. Okay, so cutting down of the trees have increased the content of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, thereby bringing about a change in the Earth's environment. Next we have industrialization. So industrialization is also very much connected with population growth. Okay, so industrialization means increase in the number of industry. Okay, so now as the population growth increases more and more, so there was a higher demand for goods, and this higher demand of goods necessitated the expansion of more industry. Now expansion of more industry led to air pollution, water pollution and land pollution at the same time. So all of this pollution also added to the change in the Earth's environment. Next we have urbanization. Urbanization means converting a particular region or a village into a town or cities. Okay, and this happens when facilities of that area increases. Okay, so that means electricity facility, water supply facility, transport facility, and at the same time use of all the electrical or technological appliances also increases at the same time. So when a particular area is converted into an urban centers or urban areas, so transport facilities increases, which leads to pollution from the smoke emitted from the vehicles. Okay, at the same time the use of all the electrical appliances at home also leads to increase in the content of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and this is a result of urbanization, or which we can say in other words modernization. Next we have expansion of transport and communication. Okay, again this is very much connected with the population growth. So with the increase in human population, more vehicles are required to carry the goods produced, okay, from the manufacturing center to the market. Okay, so more vehicles are required for that. At the same time, with the increase in human population, more vehicles are required to carry people from one places to another. So this necessitated the use of many vehicles, and use of many vehicles means emission of more smoke and the increase of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So leading to change in the Earth's environment again. So now these are all the factors which are leading to the change in the Earth's environment. Now apart from this, we could also see that today, because of increase in the human population, the wetlands are also filled up. The ponds or the lakes around the area are filled up for human settlement. So all this have also led to a change in the Earth's environment as well. Okay. So next we'll be learning about the environmental problem. So you can see all of these points written over here. These are the factors which are related to increasing the environmental problem. Now in the past, natural factors such as tsunami or earthquake, volcanic eruptions, cyclones, this has been one of the factors which have been taking human lives, okay, or any living beings on Earth. But now today the human activities have been one of the most important reasons for this environmental problem. So now all this have increased as a result of, you can see, I'll come to this next, demand for resources. So as I've already mentioned, that increase in human population means increase in the demand for goods and services. So that led to the increase in the setting up of industry, which means pollution, air pollution, water and land pollution at the same time. So this has led to the environmental problem. Next, I have mentioned over here, disturbance of the sphere of the environment. So whenever we say there is an environmental problem, it means that the balance between the spheres of the atmosphere, okay, the spheres of the environment, that is lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere and biosphere, gets disturbed. Okay, and this is when environmental problem takes place. As I have mentioned about the content of the gas in the atmosphere, the content of that gas also changes as a result of pollution. Okay, and as a result, environmental problem arises. Next here I have mentioned increase in the content of carbon dioxide. As I have mentioned over here, carbon dioxide content in the atmosphere is 0.035%. Okay, now this is the percentage which is essential, which is reasonable in the environment. Okay, so this much content of carbon dioxide is enough to heat up the Earth's atmosphere. Okay, now if the content increases more than this, now which is happening because of human activities today, okay, and this has aggravated the problem, and as a result we are facing the problem of global warming these days. Okay, also the use of fossil fuel in the industry for the purpose of heating has also led to the rise in the content of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So all these factors have led to the environmental problem which men are facing today. So we have already learned about the environmental problems. So let's see the geographical divisions of the environmental problems. Okay, so it's divided into three. You can see over here local problem, regional problem and global problem. Okay, so local problem comprise of the problem which the people face in the smaller areas. Okay, here I give an example: land pollution in a small scale industry. Okay, that means the people located in that particular area where the small scale industry is situated. Okay, people in that area only faces the problem of land pollution because of the waste thrown from that industry. Apart from that, some of the example can be the water shallowing during winter. That is also one problem faced by the people of the locality or of that region. So those are coming under the local problem. Next we have regional problem. So regional problem will be, the expanse of this problem will be more in comparison to that of the local problem. Regional problem can be a problem related to a state or it may be related to a country as well. So here I have given an example: flood problem of Assam. This one we already know. Flood problem in the Barak and Brahmaputra Valley. This is the usual problem that we face every year. Okay, so this will be coming under the regional problem because this is the problem which the state faces every year. Next we have the global problem. So global problem means the problem which is faced all over the world. Okay, it is not related to just one country, okay, or two or more countries, but all the countries of the world are facing the same problem. That's why we call it a global problem. So at present, the most suitable example will be the problem of global warming. Now let's learn about the major environmental problems and its divisions. Okay, so after this we have the first point here: pollution. This is one of the major factor. So pollution is divided to three types here: land pollution, air pollution and water pollution. So let's come to land pollution over here. So before we come to land pollution, let me tell you what is the meaning of pollution. Okay, so pollution means contamination. Okay, contamination, or when harmful substances get mixed in the air or water or soil. Okay, so that becomes pollution. Okay, so in land we'll be talking about the contamination of land. So now contamination of land can take place because of this. Okay, so now as I've mentioned over here, chemicals. So chemicals are generally released by those industry which produces chemical items. It can be as simple as the shampoo that you use at home. Okay, it may be sanitizer or even moisturizer. All of this contains chemicals. Okay, so industry which produces those, they release the waste on the land. Okay, as a result causing land pollution. Next we have poisonous metals. So again, those industry which are producing the poisonous metals like lead or zinc or mercury. Okay, so they can be the industry which will be throwing the waste on the soil and as a result leading to land pollution. Next, industrial waste. So industrial waste will be thrown by the industry located nearby. Okay, and as a result they will be polluting the particular soil around the area. Next we have the radioactive substances. So radioactive substances can be those industry which are producing nuclear items. Okay, it can be industry using uranium. Okay, so they also create a lots of waste on the soil, and at the same time that particular soil cannot be used for the purpose of cultivation because it's already contaminated and polluted. So now next is modern farming practices. Now today we see that agriculture is improving. The techniques which we are using in agriculture are also improving. Okay, apart from the technology which we are using, we will most importantly talk about the chemicals which are used in order to carry out this modern farming practices. So these are the insecticides, chemicals, fertilizers, weedicides which we use, okay, on the soil. So when we spray them on the soil, the natural nutrients or minerals of the soil are affected. Okay, and as a result, the fertility of the soil are also affected. So this will be leading to the pollution of the land. Then another is the process of industrialization and deforestation. So industrialization means increase in the number of industry have also led to more increase in the problem of land pollution. Next we have deforestation. So now in deforestation, more trees are cut down for the purpose of human settlement. So more human settlements, more pollution of the soil. Okay, so all these are the factors which are leading to land pollution. Next we come to air pollution. So I have mentioned the reason over here, volcanic eruption. Okay, so now when the air gets contaminated, when harmful substances get mixed with the air pollution is caused. Okay, so now the natural factor leading to air pollution is the volcanic eruptions. Okay, the volcanic eruptions, it release sulfur dioxide, nitrous oxide in the air, okay, which will be leading to polluting the atmosphere. Next we have industrialization. So industries emit smoke into the atmosphere, okay, that also leads to air pollution. Next we have urbanization. So all these points I have already explained before. Urbanization also is related with industrialization. Okay, so more setting up of industry, more running of vehicles on the road, all this leads to air pollution. Next, growth of vehicular traffic. Okay, growth of vehicular traffic with the increase in human population, more vehicles are required. So more vehicles means more smokes will be emitted in the atmosphere, leading to air pollution. Next, nuclear explosions. Nuclear explosions will be generally for testing purposes. Okay, nuclear bombs are exploded in a secluded, or we can say a deserted places. Okay, so those areas where such testing are done, that area become polluted. Okay, the air become polluted in that area. So this is also one of the causes for air pollution. Next we have water pollution. So here also similar definition. When contaminated or harmful substances, radiations, microbes get mixed with water and water becomes not fit for drinking, okay, then we call it water pollution. So now water pollution can be because of human settlement. So now more human population, okay, more waste will be produced by the human settlement around the area. Industries. So when more industries are set up, more waste will be thrown into the rivers or streams nearby, leading to water pollution. Okay. Next is agriculture. Now as I have told you that agriculture today has become modern. So when chemicals, fertilizers, insecticides, pesticides are sprayed into the soil, the groundwater gets polluted. Okay. So this will be leading to again water pollution. Next is accidents of oil ships. Now this is somewhat an exceptional reason for the causes of water pollution. Sometimes the ships which are carrying oil into the sea, okay, traveling from one country to another, by accident it used to spill oil into the oceans or seas, okay, so leading to pollution of the water. So these are some of the factors which are leading to water pollution. So now the next point is desertification. Okay, so desertification, before we go into this point, let's know what is a desert. Okay, so first of all, desert is a place which is dry, okay, where there is less human habitat. Okay, generally if we know about a desert, we know it as a very hot place. Okay, a hot place which have less rainfall or which have sparse vegetation, high rate of evaporation. Okay, so this place are called desert. So these places are generally called hot desert. We also have another category of desert which is called cold desert, and these are the areas which are covered generally by snow. So the polar areas are generally called the cold desert. Okay, but in this chapter we'll be learning only about the hot desert. So now let's come to desertification. So desertification means here it is a process. So when I say desert, it is a place. Okay. But when I say desertification, it is a process in which a very efficient, okay, land area converts into a desert-like situation. Okay. Suddenly the place becomes very hot. Climate changes, there will be less rainfall, evaporation increases, okay, vegetation becomes less, okay, even the living beings around the area, plants, animals started dying, okay. So when all these factors gets created in a particular area, it is creating a desert-like situation. So this process is called desertification. Okay, so let's see the causes of this desertification. The first factor written over here, which is a natural factor, is global warming, and another is drought. Okay, so global warming, as we already know, it is increase in the temperature of the earth, okay, because of increase in the content of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. As I have already mentioned that human activities, either it be setting up of industry or using of vehicles, okay, or increase in the use of electrical appliances at home, okay, and the process of deforestation, all this are leading to increase in the process of global warming. Okay, so global warming is also one of the factors leading to desertification, okay, of how a particular place have been getting converted into a desert. So next is drought. Now sometimes, you know, the area might stop raining, okay, so that area becomes like suffers from this condition of drought, okay, that means 1 year, 2 year continuously there is no rain, okay, and suddenly it seems like the place has become so used to without rain that it continues on and on. Okay, so when this condition lingers, we call it the condition of drought. Okay, so when that happens, slowly and slowly, because of the dryness of the soil, the plants die as a result of that. Okay, and that area is slowly converted into a desert. Okay, so leading to desertification. Now another factor which I have mentioned over here, these are the human activities which are leading to desertification. Okay. So first of all, we have mentioned over here overgrazing. Now overgrazing means if I have a herd of cattle and if I am taking it to the field or pasture for them to graze, okay, and when that happens continuously, if my neighbor or anyone around this area, they all take their herd of cattle together in one area and continuously keep on grazing for several months and maybe throughout the year, okay, so it is expected maybe after a few years, okay, that particular area plants will stop growing, okay, because before the plants start growing, the cows or the herd of cattle, they eat them up, okay, so it just stops the process of growth of the plants. So overgrazing can be one of the reasons where vegetation slowly will stop growing over the area, okay, and leading to desertification. Next is expansion of agriculture. So as I have already mentioned that human population is increasing, and as a result the demand for food items are also increasing. So there is a huge demand for expansion of agriculture. So how can this be done? By expanding the land under cultivation. Okay, and this can be only done by cutting down the forest, because most of the area are now occupied by men for human settlement. Okay, so this will be expanding more and more areas of land. So cutting down of more and more trees also creates the situation for desertification. Okay, so next we have deforestation. So deforestation I have already mentioned, this is a process of cutting down of trees, and it happens because of the human settlement or maybe because of the demand of goods. Okay, now people, huge number of population, they will be demanding lots of furnitures at their houses. Okay, so obviously with the increase in demand, more industry will be cutting down trees to make furnitures. So all of these are the causes of desertification.
Now we come to the third and the last major environmental problems, okay, so which is global warming. As I have already mentioned that global warming are caused as a result of increase in the content of carbon dioxide. Okay, so human factors or human activities are the one responsible mainly for the problem of global warming. But apart from carbon dioxide, we have many greenhouse gases like methane, nitrous oxide, water vapor, carbon dioxide taken together. Okay, all these greenhouses helps in trapping the solar energy in the Earth's surface. Okay, so now when the content of these gases increase in the atmosphere, it creates imbalances, and as a result, the problem of global warming takes place. So all these gases are also equally responsible for global warming, but among all of them, the increase in the content of carbon dioxide is the most significant one. So now we'll be learning about how this global warming are caused and what are the consequences of this global warming. Okay, as we have already learned that global warming may lead to increase in the sea level because the temperature of the earth rises, and as a result the polar ice caps will melt. Okay, and this will be increasing the sea level. So increase in the sea level will submerge many coral islands, continents under the oceans, under the water. Okay, so this will be one of the problem which might be related to global warming. As a result, change in the habitats of certain plants and animals. Okay, they will try to change their habitat and start living in some other places where it will be suitable for their survival. Okay, at the same time, effect in the crop production. This is also one of the outcome of global warming. Because of the increase in water level, many crops will fail. Okay, and this will be reducing the total crop production. So now all over the world, people are aware of this problem of global warming, and we will always find that in the international forum, whenever there is a conference, okay, people at the higher level, they'll be talking about this particular problem and trying to find a solution to it. Okay, so the only solution to this problem will be cooperation on the part of the people, not only government policies, but people cooperating by using less of electrical appliances, or maybe keeping their vehicle at a stop when they are at traffic. Okay, or using less vehicles, using more of the legs for walking, okay, for short distances. So all these are some of the solution to the problem of global warming. So I hope students, all of you have learned your chapter. So we will see you all in the next class. Okay, for the time being, thank you.
Stay home, stay safe, do it for yourself, do it for your family, do it for India. Let's break the chain